Perfect.
Yo everybody, my name is Kaspi, and sometimes you just gotta sit back, relax, and have a dance off with a robot.
It's fucking beautiful.
And for that we could play something like Dance Dance Revolution, Mario Mix, or even Boogie. But, I don't know, this intro's weird, but so is Pikuniku. Why, may you ask?
Because I miss feeling joy in my heart.
Let's go! This is oddly threatening. It's punishment for puking on the character design, isn't it? Oh well, here's Pikuniku. We see some brain-looking guy telling us he can collect our trash, and we get free money from them? Wow! Rich people are always so kind and amazing. Wait, I like my trash! He's probably a bad guy, huh? As we pop into the game, we get our first objective. Mood. So we pop up as this red little fellow. I shall name him
Renwolf Voltaire of House Islandosphere III.
Yeah, it fits. Renwolf gets to meet our best boy buddy pal, this ghost. Does he have a name? Maybe, I don't remember. I'll give him a name too. Jeff, spelt D-E-P-H. Trust me, it makes sense. He tells us to just
Get the fuck out of my kid. Was that offensive? I'm sorry if that was offensive.
so we get to move about. We can run, turn into a ball, stretch out our legs like it's a photo editing software, and it only took me 8 minutes to find out how to jump. I'm great at video games. This simple set of moves does say one thing about this game. It's focused heavily on exploration, probably. The movement isn't the greatest thing in the world, certainly no Hollow Knight, but it's going for something completely different, which is also great. It's a good example of how, even though on the surface they are the same genre, they still share very little DNA.
Oh, you don't care, do you? You just want to see a little funny? You see a little
We leave the cave and Pikuniku clears Breath of the Wild, by the way.
Yep, there's a bounty for my head.
Let's also take a second to appreciate this visual style. It does so much with so little, with such a simple style. Simple shapes make up the landscape and characters, the colors are very flat, which works well for this. It truly shows how a good color palette can go a long way, even with minimal detail. I've never been the biggest fan of minimalist art, but for video games I dig it. I also love the smaller details, like how this corn reacts to your movements. The shading is minimal, which I think really works for this game. It's really a simplistic game about running, jumping, exploring, and doing some puzzles. It's nice. Ah, looks like we found a bridge and...
No.
Oh. We're fine. Well, not completely, as the small town now thinks we're some kind of big bad beast of legend who intentionally snapped the bridge. We quickly get sent to prison. To be fair, Renwolf Voltaire of House Islandosphere is a tiny bit threatening. But we managed to convince them that we're just a little guy. Little goofer. Little murderous psychopath. Okay, maybe not that one. They still won't let us in anywhere as they aren't quite sure if they can trust us. So we have to fix that bridge. I initially thought I had to gather 3 apples to go into this dungeon sort of thing, since down this well it tells us we need to do that. But instead we actually just get a mask that is optional, and all we needed to do was kick this spider. God damn it! Oh well, let's head back to the village so that they'll love me. I shouldn't even really be surprised. However, the scarecrow isn't very scary, so we need to paint a new one for the townspeople, so the birds will just fuck off! I go to the painter and draw my masterpiece. Maze of Life. A reference. It's Garfield. It's just Garfield again. I can't stop! I think now would also be a good time to talk about the music briefly. It perfectly fits with the aesthetic of the game as well, being very chill and relaxing. It fits well considering how simple the game is, with very little action. Speaking of action...
I hope I'm about to say I get a shotgun to shoot people. That'd be funny.
There are boss fights, all without shotguns.
Fuck!
The boss fights consist of finding the big bad robots' weak spot and doing a good thing. Very simple, but all different. However, all of them you just dodge attacks and then you could do some damage. Oh yeah, and the evil guy is evil, my bad, forgot to mention that. Whoopsie doopsie. So it's time to destroy and conquer
capitalism!
He claims he was taking trash, but water, wood, and corn doesn't seem like trash to me. So we've got to stop him. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to start a resistance with a band of bushy boys in the old train station. That doesn't work anymore. El Bunko sounds like a great name to me, but the others don't like it, so maybe this whole resistance thing isn't so great. Come on, guys. El Bunko, that's amazing. El Bunko's a great name. I want to name my child El Bunko.
That's right, I got a child now. His name's El Bunko because it's a good name. Deal with it.
Ah, whatever. It's more important we murder capitalism right now.
I'm straight out sniffing his balls.
First boss, Timber Robot. As said, the fights are simple, and the first one is, of course, no exception. And honestly, from now on, it's a pretty straight shot to the end with a few more boss fights.
Second fight is the corn robot. Yeah, like a corn reference, as in like new metal corn. Yeah, that's pretty funny, I know. This one's fairly simple as well, but it is quite different as you just run away, and then a big laser beam. Kaboom!
Third fight is a little more interesting. However, first we gotta help a colony of worms. Very wiggly, wriggly worms. Their mother has lost a child.
What a great mother.
He's apparently become radioactive after drinking some glowy water, which he thought might be able to save them. Now he's fat and needs our help. Pikuniku has a solid amount of puzzles, however, they're all fairly simple. I never even thought about using a guide, which I usually sometimes go to. This one, for example, using this fet worm for physics-based puzzles, which just works really well. It's great and a ton of fun. I like it a lot. As well as that, this game has great writing. It's very, very funny, and charming as hell. Anyways, let's kill a water-slurping robot. This fight is a little different from the others. You first dodge its water spray attacks on these platforms, then when it's empty of all liquid, it goes and does a little... So let's let him suck us up. And that hurts him deeply in his soul. 3 times of this and kablooey. It's dead. Next up is last up. Final boss time. Fuck, we got caught. Time for super epic cool prison escape! This too is filled with puzzles and even some fun stealth. We gotta go through vents and shit. Fuck yeah! We get to Mr. Capitalism, Mr. Monopoly's lesser-known cousin, and fight him right before he tries to destroy the island with a volcano! Oh god! It blows us up into the sky, we kick him into space, and... that's Pikuniku. What a fun little game. The art style, calming music, simplistic yet fun puzzles and platforming, the charming characters and writing, and goofy story and scenarios. Man, I highly recommend you all play this.
The game is on Game Pass for those who play games like that. I mean, that's how I played it. But it's also relatively cheap on Steam, and I highly recommend you all play it because it's just such a cute, quick little experience. It only took me around 3 hours to beat, and that's doing some of the side stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend it. You should all play it before he kills you. Who's he? You don't want to know.